Think you know, but you have no idea. This is Surviving Lies.
Real time, people laughed. They mocked him. They turned it into memes. When R. Kelly sat across from Gayle King, the internet wasn't listening, it was reacting. They didn't hear what he was saying. They focused on how he was saying it. Fast forward to now. After the trials, after the filings, after the headlines stopped shocking, and the facts started stacking. People are replaying that interview differently. Not emotionally, not mockingly, but analytically. And suddenly, the words people dismissed in real time don't sound so crazy anymore. Same interview, same footage, different lens, because when all the cards are finally on the table, truth has a way of aging better than narratives. Sometimes history doesn't correct itself loudly, it just waits for people to look back and say, wait, he actually said that and he told the truth. Imagine how differently things would have gone when the lead prosecutor that started the investigation did so after admitting to being sickened by a scripted and edited production. Not official complaints or police reports, considering we then witnessed her soliciting these same bad actors for her intentional construction of so-called bad acts that publicly discredited each other. Prior to the secret trial, people don't want to admit revealed these bad acts and so-called enablers who weren't being prosecuted as the public was misled to believe would happen. Let's take a second look and include some information that was overlooked when Kelly spoke his truth.
I am surprised that you agreed to do it. Why are you sitting down with us today?
I'm very tired of all of the lies. I've been hearing things and seeing things on the blogs, and I'm just tired.
What are the lies that you're hearing that disturb you most?
So, yes, I did have sex with Bubba as well. No, we did not have a threesome, but me and Bubba had another relationship outside of Rob.
It's a woman, and she trains you to please him sexually. So she trained me for everything that, I was doing. She told me how to please him, and she also taught me, what I like.
How did they do it?
Like, how did you meet her? How were you introduced to her?
I got invited to his tour bus. So I went out there to his tour bus, and you have him naked, and you have her naked, and I'm looking like, okay, what is this? Because Rob is the one who took my virginity. So I was like, yeah, so what's going on? And he's like, don't worry about it, because he saw that I was looking uneasy, and I wanted to know, what am I doing? And that's when he told me to look at her, and he said, she's going to teach you everything you need to know. So she's going to please you. And he told me to remove my clothes, and that's when me and her engaged in sexual activity. And she was doing everything. Like, I didn't know. Like, I was 16. I didn't know.
Scared? What was
how
were you feeling when all that was happening?
I was scared, but cause I was like really nervous. And he's like, just take your clothes off and she'll teach you everything. And I'm like, okay. So I just went along with whatever he was asking me, but I was very scared, and he picked that up.
Now, a lot of people didn't want to point out that obviously Gayle King is interviewing R. Kelly, giving all of these stories that were plastered all everywhere the credit instead of interviewing him and getting his side, considering those of us who watch these characters maneuver on these social media platforms, exposing one another, we know exactly how they were able to build their storylines. So to give them as much credit as they did and try to shift this narrative against Robert Kelly and make him look hella crazy, that is the red flag that I initially pointed out while they brought out all the body experts and all these people to ridicule this man's statements as though he automatically had to be the one lying and these bad act witnesses were telling the truth. Secondly, once we review all of these bad act statements that were given these interviews, pay attention to the wording they use. Let's not skip the fact that they were building this facade that this man was preying on minors, that he had this cult of minors, that he was holding people hostages, and all of these allegations that would obviously trigger prosecutors to want to investigate after watching this edited docuseries that was put before the public.
Oh my God, all of them. Got little girls trapped in the basement, helicopters over my house, trying to rescue someone that doesn't need rescuing because they're not in my house, handcuffing people, starving people. I have a harem, a cult. I don't even really know what a code is, but I know I don't have one, you know.
Have you done anything that you regret? Have you done anything wrong?
Lots of things wrong when it comes to women that I apologize, but I apologize in those relationships at the time I was in the relationships.
Have you broken any laws when it comes to women?
Absolutely not.
The 6-part series interviewed 50 people, family members, your former tour manager, numerous women who all claim that you abused them. Yeah. Are you saying everybody in that documentary was not telling the truth about you?
Quite frankly, it should be obvious how I was able to do my own research considering they didn't give a damn about doing so. Because to ask this man this stupid ass question, when again, if I could look at the same shit they looked at, they have double the resources that I have. You're not going to tell me that the same hypocrisies that I put on display, even when it came to these individuals and their connections to people like Russell Simmons and this new chick like Drew Dixon who wants to attach herself to Rashona Lanfair's story. Again, if you didn't do your research, you wouldn't be able to point out these facts. Yet the beauty of the way I put my work is I have a lot of playlists for people to recap how I was able to discern the inconsistencies that showed me why these individuals weren't credible. So it wasn't necessary to try to harass or intimidate nobody's opinions when it came to the subject matter, when anybody could put on display all of the things that they were inconsistent about that would reveal why people should have taken a second look at these accusations instead of jumping on bandwagons talking about he must have did this and must have did that instead of giving him his due process.
If you really look at that documentary, which I'm sure you have,
I have.
Everybody said something bad about me.
Quite frankly, we can look at R. Kelly and tell that a person like him has been media trained. So when we reflect on all of the things that the Savages took part in that exposed themselves and all of the people that they colluded with, it should be clear as day that this man, even in the height of all of these rumors and allegations, still didn't come out here and call them liars, still didn't come out here and attack them. But he clearly said what he said when he pointed out that obviously there was bias within this documentary. Now, if they had got his perspective, then maybe there would be a different point of view from people like Kim Fox, who were so sickened just listening to one-sided stories that were being shaped in the form of so-called bad acts so they could formulate a janky-ass RICO.
Nobody said nothing good. They was describing Lucifer. I'm not Lucifer. I'm a man. I make mistakes, but I'm not a devil. And by no means am I a monster.
I'm going to name the names. Andrea Kelly, your ex-wife.
So as she named names, she probably should have included that some of these names that she's naming, according to the law, would be complicit to specific crimes that these people wanted to give the illusion that everybody knew about, especially when you go to the trial and come to find out that all of the rumors about her being involved in certain threesomes, being on specific tapes, emerged, but people don't want to talk about that part. And definitely don't skip the part about how old Drea Kelly got to feeling some type of way once she realized this shit ain't about her motherfucking ass.
Kitty Jones.
You mean the same one that was on the stage that nobody decided to vet? The same person that was implicated as part of an inner circle who conveniently became a victim? That Kitty Jones? Is that what you're talking about? Because again, people that didn't follow the case or the storylines will conveniently forget how some of these people being implicated as enablers found themselves on the different side of these allegations once it became beneficial to be a victim. And it's very ironic that people like Jim Derogatis, who the Savages ran to get a little boost with their storylines, put this type of information out there regarding this inner circle, these enablers, and people want to skip around why it's janky as hell to talk about this enterprise and not prosecute them.
Lisa Van Allen, Lisette Martinez, Jerronda Pace, Faith Rogers, Asante McGee. You're saying everything they said in that documentary about you is not true.
They are lying on me.
Did he stutter? Now, if you had done your due diligence and did your job as a journalist and got both sides and vetted your information, you would know that he was telling his truth regardless if you wanted to believe it.
Why would these women say the same thing about you? That you are controlling, that you are abusive, that you tell women when to eat, when to go to the bathroom, when they can sleep, where they can dress. Why would all these women tell these different stories about you if they were not true? And they don't know each other.
See, that's where you messed up. Because had people had been listening to R. Kelly long ago, they would have been able to follow the same trail that I did, especially when it came to who was writing a lot of these stories, like Jim Derogatis. They would have been able to observe these bad act witnesses all over these platforms, leading you from one person to another and showing you how even if they didn't know each other once upon a time, they were introduced to one another. They were able to compare certain storylines, and they were able to keep building these lies on top of lies. Duh, but it was people like you and other media influencers who should have been doing their diligence in vetting the information, in being unbiased. And that is the reason why my platform is here today, because I don't trust a motherfucking person on these media platforms.
That defies logic to me.
Right. Until you hear the explanation. You can start a rumor on a guy like me or a celebrity just like that. All you have to do is push a button on your phone and say, so-and-so did this to me. R. Kelly did this to me. And if you get any traction from that, if you're able to write a book from that, if you're able to get a reality show, then any girl that I had a relationship in the past that it just didn't work out, she can come and say the same exact thing.
Are you blaming this on social media?
See what I mean by they wasn't listening? What part in that did it sound like he was blaming social media when it was obvious that he said the same shit that I'm saying? These people ran to social media, created a public outcry, produced a documentary, prompted an investigation, and here we are now.
About the power of social media.
Have you ever had sex
No.
with anyone under the age of 17?
No.
Now, when we reflect on the missing in action tapes that obviously didn't play in court, that obviously had them revert to old shit from the way, way past, that clearly amplified why they needed Boss Baby to get on that stand, because this man has said for years that's not him on the tape. Now, if he's telling you he has not engaged with minors to his knowledge, who in the hell is going to argue with people on the internet trying to force these narratives, talking about, oh, I saw the tape, I know he did this back in the 90s, and Skip, does that really justify how they're abusing RICO laws, how they're opening up these statute of limitations, and clearly playing in the people's face when it came to telling the people he was preying on minors, and facing the reality that certain individuals put these narratives out here who had no case, who relied on certain storylines, and again, here we are.
Never.
No.
I have to tell you, it's so hard to believe that based on all that we've read
I'm gonna tell
and
you
what the
something,
women
Gayle.
have
There's
said
one
about you.
I'm gonna
What
tell
the
you
women have said
something.
about you.
Is this not biased? So you interview this man and you want to sit here and go back and forth with him, telling him what somebody else said about him and why you believe it. Somebody make this shit make sense. And his attorney and his crisis manager were sitting right there looking goofy as hell. I can't make this shit up. Oh, but I'm victim shaming because I don't trust the news or the media or the people on these platforms giving their source information, because people like this wanted to run with what these women said and not give an unbiased approach. I can't make it up. I can't.
What women said about me, so nobody's allowed to be mad at me and be scorned and lie on me.
So they're lying on you. That's your explanation. They're lying on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He said what he said. And when it came to the law, it's just mighty funny that people want to skip around why I specifically said witness testimony don't prove shit when it comes to me.
Absolutely.
You feel that people have maligned your character?
I have been assassinated. I have been buried alive. But I'm alive.
Now let's figure this out. Basic common sense. If these people that were around R. Kelly, including some of the people from a so-called inner circle, are very privy to knowing how to remove content from YouTube, you mean to tell me 20, 30 years of slander against Robert Kelly goes unchecked and people thought I was going to go back and forth about their opinions on this platform because, as he just said, individuals allowed him to be buried alive in the public eye to keep focusing on the music. And didn't nobody want to apply common sense to why they wasn't protecting the brand. Therefore, you're not going to be able to convince me he's running this so-called RICO with all of these goons doing stuff on his behalf because people don't want to wake up and look at how they line this man up.
So I think the point you're making is, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you have never held anybody against their will.
I don't need to. Why would I?
Well,
how stupid would it be for R. Kelly, with all I've been through in my way past, to hold somebody, let alone 4, 5, 6, 50, you said. How stupid would I be to do that?
I didn't say you were holding.
That's stupid, guys.
I didn't.
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense. Don't forget the blogs. Forget how you feel about me. Hate me if you want to. Love me if you want. But just use your common sense. How stupid would it be for me to, with my crazy past and what I've been through, right now I just think I need to be a monster and hold girls against their will, chain them up in my basement and don't let them eat and don't let them out unless they need some shoes down the street from their uncle. Stop it. Y'all quit playing.
I know that's right. Talking about a cult. I still ain't seen the cult. And then they gonna stage their whole fake ass rescue. This shit's stupid.
Quit playing.
Robert.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. Y'all just don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe it.
At this point, we briefly paused the interview to give Kelly a moment. His publicist helped calm him down.
I hope this camera keep going.
No, we're going to let the camera keep rolling.
This is not, doesn't even make sense. Why would I hold all these women? Their mothers and fathers told me, we're going to destroy your career.
You know that I talked to Angela now. You got to get rid of Mitchell and you have to get rid of this publicist because they are working with Avenatti. This was a whole, like, with Gayle King, down something like publicist or whatever.
Rip me apart how? I want you to find out how and let me know.
But Kelly's emotions remained raw.
It's real girls out there missing. It's real young girls out there being abducted, being raped, okay? They really are on chains. They really do have chains on their wrists, and they can't get out.
Robert,
and they're ending up buried in deep.
Robert, we have to have a conversation. Really, I don't want you just ranting at the camera.
I came here for them to hear me talk.
But
I need help.
What kind of help?
This is the kind of help I need.
Yes, what kind of help?
I need somebody to help me not have a big heart. Because my heart is so big. People betray me, and I keep forgiving them.
You sound like you're playing the victim here. You sound like R. Kelly. You do. When I listen to you,
I'm
it
just
does
telling
sound
the
like
truth.
You're playing the victim
I'm just telling the truth. And the reason I'm emotional,
But Robert,
and I apologize for that, is because this is the first time I was able to say
speak.
something. Yeah. I've said nothing.
Yeah.
And then Prima Ho is always saying that it was more witnesses that y'all could have called, but y'all didn't call them because y'all was in on the takedown of R. Kelly.
Oh yeah, that's what he was asking, Sean. He said, "Why did they only call 6 witnesses and not a lot of other
Yeah,
witnesses.
I said that. I already said it. A lot of people didn't want to get involved.
Yep.
A lot of people, when you have criminal histories or you have stuff in your background or you already gave statements to the government, there's a lot of things that go into that.
So
And the biggest thing was there was a lot of people that didn't want to get involved.
Now I'll conclude this video with this, because as I've always suggested, when you review my content, the pieces that I put out there will start to ring a little bit more clear when you start to observe how things played out. The fact that I wasn't going to be inserting myself in this man's case, doing the most, then coming out here lying about why nobody put up an effective defense for him. Cause you'd have to be crazy as hell to think anybody in their right mind would be using people on YouTube to structure a legal defense. Meanwhile, your goddamn attorneys you hired in the court looking stupid. Somebody, make it make sense.
Free R. Kelly! Free R. Kelly! Free R. Kelly! Women lie too! 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 Free R. Kelly! Free R. Kelly! Women lie too! Women lie too! Women lie too! Women lie too! Free R. Kelly! 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 Women lie too! Women lie too!
Check 1, 2. Levels good. This is Prima Donna, and you're locked in with me. Twin coming soon. Stay tuned.
You know, if you super thick, throw that ass up in the club. Hey, if you super thick, throw that ass up in the club.
Shot a gun, thinking when she throw it, bow, bow, bow. Shot a gun, thinking when she throw it, bow, 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 bow.
Hey you, stop what you're doing and check out my pastry site and support my small business. The link is in the comments.